This is a Compaq Deskpro EN Slim Desktop. This was another dump find that I found back in August. Price of $50, that's how much I'm going to try to sell it for at the VCF East Swap Meet. This had a couple of parts missing when I got it. Like, this optical drive, it was not here when I got it. But this TDK drive with a blue bezel, that was there. This floppy drive was also here. But this came out of the beige case that I didn't really want. I didn't really have a use for it, and it's a surprisingly new drive for being beige. There's the word mark for Deskpro EN, and the Windows 98 COA. Apparently this shipped with an 866 MHz Pentium III when it was new. 15E, I believe, means Intel 815E chipset, which is good because that means this has AGP. Turn this around. Ugh, pretty heavy. Not quite a small form factor desktop, but it looks like it could pass as one. It looks like this uses a mostly standard ATX layout. The power supply is not a standard size. We got two USB ports, PS2s, parallel, dual serial, VGA, because this has onboard video, 10100 Ethernet, we have onboard audio, and we also have an add-in video card. This is a GeForce 2MX that I pulled out of the beige box, but originally came out of a Dell computer. I'm gonna pop the lid open. There are little diagrams here too. Okay, here's the inside of the Compaq Deskpro EN. We have the front speaker. I don't know if that's just a post speaker or if that's actually an internal speaker. Here's the chassis intrusion switch that I unplugged because don't really need it anymore. This isn't being used in a business environment. Here's the GeForce 2MX. I'm gonna come off the tripod so I can show it to you. Yeah, just a vanilla GeForce 2MX, 32 megabytes. Not even a heatsink, but it's NGPU, it works. There's 256 megs of RAM, it's PC133. One of the clips is missing, but it's whatever. Here's the heatsink, which came detached when I got it because there was no CPU. That was kind of lame, but fortunately I was able to get a CPU, RAM, and a hard drive by trading my D820 to a friend who had parts for me. This is a little bit of a tough lift, but there's a 60 gigabyte hard drive. Again, I had to add myself. Yeah, WD600 from October of 2002. It's also from about the same time that this TDK CDRW drive is from. 17th of October 2002. Now the DVD drive, which is beige, is from September 2006, oddly enough. And I'm like, who would have gotten a beige DVD drive in 2006, 2007 even? And that CR2032 I added myself, where one of those riser cards would have gone for like a modem. But the port itself isn't actually there. You do get 5 PCIs, which is nice. And I believe that's the North Bridge. And here's the power supply. 200 watts max. So it's not a very powerful power supply at all, but you really didn't need much more than that back in the day. Alright, and now we gotta get hooked up. So what peripherals will I use? For one thing, set this monitor on top because we can do that. We got a Dell E1909W monitor from 2009. It's 1440 by 900, TN panel, CCFL, absolutely nothing desirable whatsoever, but it has VGA, so that's like the only reason I have it. As for keyboard, just this random Dell keyboard I don't care about. And for a mouse, I'm going to use this PS2 mouse that my cousin gave me. Looks like it has back and forward navigation buttons, so that's pretty cool. It's also optical, so this is definitely worth keeping, even though it's a random GE mouse, and General Electric themselves was long gone by then. And now I gotta get some power cables for both the Deskpro and the monitor. Okay, I got all my cables, including a VGA. Okay, this is probably the best shot I'm gonna get. And it's looking kind of blurry, so I have to focus on the buttons here. Alright, anyway, let's plug in the Deskpro. I think it's gonna start up on its own. No, it didn't. Alright then. This is not a smoke test because I know it works. Oh right, I gotta get my Windows 98 DVD as well. QuickInstall at that. Microcode patch error. Yeah, because the 933 MHz Pentium III in this is a little bit newer than what this BIOS is expecting, but it works. Gonna have to find a BIOS update for this. We'll probably have to run it over a floppy, but the floppy drive works. Oh no, bad OS ever.
Windows Millennium? Oh no! Get it away! Eek!
Here's Microsoft Scan Disk. Okay, at least the mouse is working now. Because I think last time I tried this, I didn't have a mouse plugged in. And while Windows Me will do the job, I'm just gonna replace it with 98 anyway, because 98 would have a better chance of selling. I have to press F1 every time just to get rid of that microcode error. Okay, we're in a working desktop at least. I don't think that I like this logo here, though, for Windows 98 Quick Install. Or Windows 9X Quick Install. There went the E6410 starting up in the background. But yeah, it looks like this only has the basic Windows Explorer. I mean, I guess that's what I get for installing the light version of Windows Me just so Quick Install could fit on a CD. Alright, this is what I went over to go get, really. My Windows 98 Quick Install DVD. It's the full version 096. And I believe this has drivers built into it, which is why it needs a DVD and not just a CD. But yeah, we're going to put this in the left optical drive because it's a DVD drive, whereas this is only a CDRW. I don't think this has an auto run, so we're going to have to restart and find the boot menu. Okay, it might be F9 then. Because this is from before HP bought out Compaq and got a lot of influence from them. Okay, yeah, F9 is the boot menu. F1. There's the blue CD-ROM drive. I actually quite like that the tray is entirely blue, but I'm going to have to deal with that. Probably get that IDE cable plugged back in. Okay, turns out that the cable just got lifted from the board. I have to F9 my way into the boot menu. Yeah, F1. It detected TDK, which is the CDRW drive. Oh, no, F9. I did not want F10, but maybe that'll actually be beneficial in our case. Storage. Boot order. IDE CD-ROM drive. Device config. Okay, secondary 0 is Pioneer. DVD-RW. Gonna Control-Delete and go into F9 for the boot menu. Well, F9 and then F1 because microcode errors. Okay, CD-ROM. Okay, it's booting into the DVD drive. Okay, press any key to run quick install, except F8. Okay, cursor up or page down to navigate the text. Okay, I guess I gotta press enter then. Windows 98 SE fully patched. Stock installation. I want to run CF disk first. Delete the partition. Make a new one. Use the entire disk. Primary. Bootable. Write the partition table. Partition table has been altered. Answer yes to the format prompt. If I'm installing on a partition I just created. Okay, finished. Install. Enter. Yes, I want to install it. Overwrite the master boot record and set the partition as active. Alright, so full hardware detection including all most non-PNP devices. And I want to install the integrated device drivers. Alright, and this is going to take a while. Ha! As if that would take a while. But what happens when we exit to a shell? Oh, I guess this is based on Linux, so we can run LSPCI. Please press enter to activate this console. Okay, yeah, now I want to restart. Okay, I guess we're not three-finger saluting out of here. But we can type reboot and that'll work. Vibe. Except for that. There we go, Windows 98. Doesn't include the Plus Pack, but I can install the Plus Pack myself. Okay, my PS2 mouse is working at least. This is why I keep a PS2 mouse around. Windows is now detecting non-plug-and-play hardware. Alright, I want to keep this file. Okay, my USB keyboard is working there at least. I'm just using the Dell keyboard I don't care about because my, what was it? My Logitech K400 Plus doesn't really work under Windows 9X because it's going over a receiver and not a keyboard and mouse interface. Even though it works fine in the motherboard BIOS. Well, even for UEFI and UEFI stuff. Okay, it's beeping at me. It is still not 2 p.m. We gotta set that an hour back. Oh, and adjust my time zone while we're at it to only the best time zone. Okay, properties. Okay, we still have that OEM information, but I believe if we go into my documents, then yeah, we'll have the full Explorer. Don't tell the Toasty Tech people that, though. They'll be furious. Alright, what happens if we double-click on E? The device is not ready. That's rather expected-ish. Okay, it doesn't seem like the back and forward navigation buttons work, but I guess that's normal. Okay, seems like I'll still have to install drivers myself. Display adapters. Properties, drivers, update driver. Okay, so we're going to have to install drivers myself. That is a quick install for Windows 98. Also, is the USB supplement there? Alright, let's plug in this tiny little flash drive. See if it at least has the USB supplement built in. Generic USB mass storage. Masstore.inf. I guess that's newer than USB store.inf that I'm used to seeing whenever I install Windows 98. F drive. Okay, removable disk F. Okay, it detects everything at least. There's 16 color Courage the Cowardly Dog. It doesn't seem like I can safely eject the USB drive, so I'm gonna go load some drivers onto this, if I can find them. That was a little annoying because of how the USB ports are positioned on this computer and the fact that I plugged the keyboard onto the top one. But yeah, I'm gonna go load some drivers. Alright, I've reloaded the USB with Compaq Deskpro EN drivers. It took me a little bit to find, but thankfully someone put them on the Internet Archive. Yeah, we have to rely on the people to preserve this stuff because HP won't do it. I mean, HP kind of has a bad track record with drivers to begin with. I mean, Dell has a good track record, but at any moment they could pull the plug. There's a reason why I keep a driver archive around for every machine that I end up acquiring. Alright, and I'm going with the NVIDIA 45.23 drivers from July of 2003, because apparently those are the best ones to use with the GeForce 2MX for Windows 9X. And as for the 6 series, which was the last ones that will work with Windows 9X, you don't want to use the latest ones, but you want to go with like the 77.72 drivers, which are a little bit older than the final drivers, but apparently they are a lot more stable. But that's really putting it in air quotes because it's not like 9X is that stable to begin with. Okay, before I start installing drivers, let's see, what version of DirectX do we have installed? Only DirectX 6.1a. Huh, so nothing on that disk was updated. Oh, I guess I'm going to have to break out my Windows 98 Utilities CD as well. But before we do that, I'm going to install drivers. Now, thankfully, the person who archived these actually went and, like, you know, it labeled each one. Not the NVIDIA 9X 4523, though. I put that in myself. But yeah, the BIOS ROM pack, we're going to have to install that. Intel Pro 100 Plus NIC. Let's go with this one. Spacebar, spacebar, and spacebar. Okay, looks like it's doing all this in a DOS prompt. I probably could have run these on the Latitude E6410, because that's where I downloaded these drivers from. I mean, unless it does like an auto run afterwards. Alright, it seems like I'm going to have to go into Device Manager so I can install these. Intel Pro 100 Plus NIC, Win9X, push. There should be a driver in there. Was I unable to locate a driver? What? Guess we'll have to go into the Win9X folder and messbatch.inf then. I don't know. Net 82557. Fine, OEM setup. Which one is it? Okay, Intel Pro 100 Plus NIC. What do you mean unable to look for a driver? Guess I'll try the Intel chipset support then. Spacebar, spacebar. Illegal operation? Well, looks like the police is going after me. Oh, don't tell me I gotta unzip this too. Maybe it'd be better if I unzipped these on a newer computer. Apparently for the BIOS ROM pack, there's two different BIOSes. There's 686p2 and 686p3. You have to see which one we have. Is MS-Info32 on Windows 98 though? Oh, our CPU is being hammered. Okay, it didn't error out, so I guess MS-Info32 does exist on Windows 98. Okay, Microsoft System Information. Oh no, Internet Explorer 5.5! Hardware resources. Will this tell me anything that I need to know, though? Okay, it doesn't seem like it tells me that here, because it's not the Windows NT MS-Info32. Okay, Intel chipset support. Setup.exe. Next. Yes. Next. I'll restart later. Probably should have started with the chipset to begin with. Pro 100 NIC. Set path setup. Desktop Intel. What was that? Root agent. DOS? I don't think we need a DOS driver, but... whatever. I'll find another driver for that. SoundMax integrated audio. I don't even have speakers plugged in, but who cares? Windows XP Personal. That don't even exist. It does actually. It's called Home Edition. Copyright 2002, so that was after Windows XP released. Oh, it's a WDM driver, not VXD. Odd, but I guess not unexpected, because this is from the year 2000, and VXD was out of fashion by then. I mean, for 9X, you probably want to be using VXD, not WDM. Or maybe that's not really the case with Windows Me, though, but with 98, probably. SoundMax with SPX. Oh, like, that's so good. I mean, I'm sure the motherboard audio on this is fine. It's not going to do any DOS gaming, but it'll probably do fine for Windows 98. Oh, wait, why did I say I'll restart later? Might as well restart now and check what BIOS is on here. Okay, F10. And it's going to keep nagging me about the microcode. I know. About system information. Okay, processor stepping, 68A. Yeah, it's a 933 MHz Pentium III. 686p2. Okay, so that's the system ROM we have. Okay, I can see the SoundMax applet down here and the volume control. Not that I can use the volume control at the moment. Wait. Oh, that's the built-in speaker going off. That's pretty convenient. It doesn't sound too terrible. It sounds about how you'd expect. Back to Compaq drivers, and I had to download the Pro 1000 and 100 drivers. I'll just copy that into this folder. Did that even launch? No, it didn't. Okay, I accept. Intel Pro 100, 1000, and 10 gigabit Ethernet connections. Oh, 10 gigabit was a thing even back in 2003 when this driver was made. Windows 98 2nd Edition CD-ROM. That is why you always copy the OEM files to your computer. I'll restart later, because I still got to install the video driver. Setup.exe. Next, yes. Updating system registry. And now I want to restart my computer. But not before I remove the flash drive, hopefully for the last time. And even then, we're still not done. We gotta update the BIOS. But I do have floppy drives, or floppy disks just sitting around. I'm just gonna have to go get them. Your key holder. Wait, the video is looking no better than when we didn't have a driver. Don't tell me it's just stuck here. Okay, Win98 user, so we have a network driver now, and we have full color. I'll just leave Win98 user as is, because who cares really. Okay, I didn't really want that reopening. Now I have 800 by 600 video, but I'm going to put this in 1440 by 9. Actually, wait, we can't put it in 1440 by 900. Can do 1360 by 768, I guess. Yeah, no, that's still not native resolution. Well, not native resolution, but still not quite native aspect ratio. Native aspect ratio would be 1280 by 800 or 1440 by 900. NView setup wizard. Sure. Skip the configuration. Yeah, whatever. True color 32-bit. Oh, we only have one screensaver, oddly enough. I'll just apply the new color settings. Okay, now I'm going to stick in the Windows 98 Utilities disk. That'll go in the blue drive. But also, since we have dual optical drives, I'll put in plus 98 as well. Okay, I wonder which one is D and E. Okay, D is the DVD drive, and E... And E is the blue drive. Yeah, let's install Plus. Windows 98 install is never complete without the Plus pack. I accept the agreement. I'll just leave Win98 user as is. Don't scan system for viruses. And we want to make this custom because we want to get rid of McAfee virus scan. The rest is whatever, I'll just keep it as is. Actually, I don't think there's any way to make this monitor a letterbox. Yeah, no, there isn't. It's not quite new enough. Alright, don't run the maintenance wizard, but I will configure my desktop theme. I wonder if Windows 98 High Color will be a bit much for this one. Okay, the wallpaper, well, it seems a bit stretched out. The Microsoft.com text is normal size. Alright, there's a couple things that I want to run here. 7-zip 9.20. Wait. I want to copy that elsewhere. I'm going to copy alt point to its own folder. Internet Explorer 6, Service Pack 1. Just because some things might need updated Internet Explorer, which I don't know why, but I guess because Windows 98 is so dependent on Internet Explorer, we kind of gotta update it for certain applications. Sound of that optical drive kind of goes hard. Kind of sucks that I'm selling it off with this computer, but if someone else can enjoy it more than me, then that's really what matters. .NET Framework. We also need Windows Explorer. No, Windows Installer 2.0 for that. DirectX 9C, Acrobat Reader. I'm not going to bother with Acrobat, but I will install DirectX 9. I guess I'll install RetroZilla too, just because why not? Let's make it the default browser, even though there's really not much you can do with RetroZilla to begin with. Alright, and we gotta restart. Although first thing I want to get my Plus 98 disk back. Totally legit, by the way. Totally shipped with an HP computer. That's why I chose the Windows 98 High Color theme. It's just that the 98 Beta 3 shutdown sound, which was reused for the High Color theme in Plus 98, it just goes so hard. I like it more than the actual 98 shutdown sound, which isn't even enabled by default on a retail install. Ah, there we go, Plus 98. Oh yeah, that's a vibe. I guess I'll delete those 3 folders because we don't need them anymore. I'll chuck those in the documents folder because who cares really. IE6, I'll leave that there for now because we still got to install it. Let's see. Okay, IE6 setup.exe. Install now, typical set of components. That will update Outlook Express with it. Alright, and we got to restart again. This is typical Windows 9X. Can't help but gush over that shutdown sound. There's a reason why I use it on my modern computers, or really any computer that I can set a shutdown sound on, and my Pixel 6a is overheating, so I'm gonna have to let it cool down a little bit. Okay, due to a couple of difficulties, I had to unplug the floppy drive, plug it back in, and boot into a DOS prompt to make sure the floppy drive is actually working and sending data. CD BIOS R1 dir 686 P2 3 tilde 1. Actually, no, we got a CD 686 P23 1 686 P2 3 114R. Too many parameters. I guess it's named kind of weirdly, but the floppy drive works. Still not sure why I changed my wallpaper. I'm gonna go to Compaq drivers, BIOS ROM pack, 686P2 3.14 Rev A. Eject this disk. Put in another one. Make sure I find a working disk in here. Balls. Balls and nuts even. I don't know why I put that on there, but it's dated 7th of December 2023, so I was probably showing this to my cousin because he was expressing interest in floppies. Okay, effective date 30th of September 2002. Compaq SP22000, I believe. Okay, ROM pack firmware diskette. Enter destination drive, A, and it's going to be kind of slow with writing cylinders. Okay, I've been sitting here for a little while, but the diskette has been created. And what we've got to do now is, well, exit out of this, but also boot from the floppy, because this is from the old days back when you had to use a floppy to update the BIOS. Love that startup sound. I mean, shutdown. Okay, I take it's gonna boot from the floppy first. Okay, yeah, the light is green. Yeah, starting MS-DOS. Hi, mem. Okay, it'll detect up to 64 megs. Alright, ROM pack firmware upgrade utility, version 2.22.0, copyright 1994 to 1999. Reprograms the firmware and or read-only memory for supported Compaq systems and options. Okay, I like the Windows 3.1 vibes that we have going on, or rather 3.0. It doesn't look that good on camera, but if I were to move upwards, yeah, it has that tealish look of Windows 3.0. Programmable devices, Compaq system ROM. Please wait. Alright, version 3.14 is the new firmware image, and our current one is version 2.04, so that's quite a bit older. Oh cool, it made a backup of the current system ROM. I mean, not like it's that useful to begin with, but, you know, I might as well archive it. The firmware will be reprogrammed, and don't touch anything from here. Reprogramming the firmware, featuring Thunderbolt. Okay, the system ROM has been successfully reprogrammed. So you can press OK. I do not want to reprogram another device. Okay, remove the ROM pack diskette, which is actually DOS Disk 2 here. That was just an old labeling from when these were my dad's floppies. And power cycle the system. Can't do the 3-finger salute, we gotta actually power cycle. And there was a little text saying, press whatever to show option ROM messages. And it's finally not whining about my processor being too new. I mean, at least it worked with a 933, but seeing that message every time was getting rather annoying. It's always been doing this ever since I installed those security updates. Okay, let's check the system information. 686P2 version 3.14. Alright, system BIOS and setup utility, copyright 1982 to 2001. So, it's been updated. Okay, now there's one more thing I want to do. I want to go to Properties and change the resolution to 800 by 600. The reason why I want to go with 800 by 600 is really just because sometimes VGA doesn't take kindly to resolution changes that are rather abrupt and might be lower resolution than this, which I was running at 1360 by 768 even though this monitor is natively 1440 by 900. But yeah, that'll be about it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed this look at the Compaq Deskpro EN, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.